Hi, my name is Shreya Gupta, and I'm the Program Manager for BIT Project's effort implementing student-led outreach programs for K-5 engineering education. BIT Project is a student organization at UC Davis that was created to provide students the resources needed to bring hands-on activities to the classroom. For undergraduate engineering students, working with and mentoring younger students is a way to develop strong interpersonal communication and leadership skills. BIT Project consolidates logistics for outreach into one organization and gives students a chance to apply undergraduate engineering education into real-life situations. The various outreach events create a platform for students who want to take time to connect with their communities. Promoting undergraduate students' involvement in primary education encourages students to pursue professional education degrees and provides prospective educators with classroom experience. Project design and execution. In June of last year, we implemented a pilot program into second and third grade classes in Davis elementary schools that integrated robotics into math lessons. The goal was to make learning math fundamentals interactive and increase student engagement and receptiveness. Undergraduate students partnered with groups of around 5 second or third grade students to assist the teachers in providing all students closer one-on-one attention. Over the week, students went from using addition and subtraction to design unique robot tracks to using robot tracks to calculate multiplication tables. The image shows students dividing tracks and calculating fractions with the robots in week 3. By the 4th week, students could use the skills acquired from prior weeks to create unique structures for the robots and determine the area and perimeter of their designs. The feedback was great. Teachers reported that the student engagement and information retention was higher than most other weeks, and students were actively looking for more activities to participate in. Volunteers noted that the program was productive but limited to one subject, while it had potential to be expanded into other hands-on STEM and engineering lessons. Taking the response from the pilot program, BIT Project organizers have implemented an outreach program at Korematsu Elementary School in Davis, in which curriculum developers, outreach coordinators, volunteer leads, and volunteers help educators integrate project-based learning into the classroom. Curriculum developers research, design, and develop hands-on activities. Outreach coordinators are responsible for organizing lessons with elementary school classes and managing volunteers. Volunteer leads direct groups of volunteers in events and facilitate communication between teachers and volunteers. And volunteers are trained in teaching activities and helping conduct lessons. The program provides a framework to facilitate getting involved in primary education for students interested in volunteering, supported by the UC Davis College of Engineering. We build the organization system through which teachers can set up volunteering-based events and have knowledgeable volunteers help introduce innovative lessons relevant to current curriculum. Interdisciplinary curriculum development. UC Davis volunteers design and execute hands-on STEM lessons for K to 5th grade classes, following the development flow from Teach Engineering. Due to the growing number of careers that require a strong foundation in science and mathematics, the cross-disciplinary next-generation science standards and Common Core standards assure quality education and prepare students for success in higher education and the pursuit of advanced careers. Curriculum developers create hands-on engineering activities around the performance expectations of NGSS and CCS. Hands-on engineering design projects are developed into lesson plans that require students to think outside of the box. One of the more popular activities developed for the outreach program is paper circuits, in which students study properties of electricity by building various series and parallel circuits with copper tape, LEDs, and a battery. The activity follows NGSS standards to practice using observations to build evidence for energy transfer. Volunteers guide students through open-ended projects in which students explore these properties, create their own circuits, and present how the properties of electricity can help predict whether or not a circuit will work. Each lesson plan and associated project is tested out by undergraduate developers before being released to the public. Developers conduct run-throughs of lesson plans with undergraduate volunteers to fix bugs in the design and implementation and find affordable, appropriate materials to maintain the lesson's feasibility in the classroom. The diction used in the lessons is reviewed to guarantee that it is suitable for the target grade level. Such testing includes revising concept definitions, procedures, and discussion questions to convey understandable information. A formalized pipeline of reviewing and editing classroom activities plays a major role in the long-term success of the program. Through this reviewing process, teachers and volunteers are able to provide feedback through interviews and surveys, describing their experience to improve the program for future users. At the very start of the pipeline, each lesson goes through the design, peer review, and implementation steps. After this, teachers and volunteers provide feedback through in-person interviews and anonymous online forms. Teachers rate the activity in terms of their overall experience, student reception to the activity, their experience with the volunteers, their involvement in the lesson, how likely they themselves would be to integrate the lesson into their current curriculum, and how comfortable they would be to lead a similar activity in the future. These ratings allow developers to determine strengths and weaknesses of the lesson plans and volunteer experiences and create a plan of action to improve other activities. Volunteer feedback is given based on how comfortable they felt working with the students, how prepared they felt in following the lesson plan, the students' understanding of the lesson, and their experience working with the teacher. Curriculum developers are then able to analyze the feedback to revise the lessons before they are implemented by another class. Outreach coordinators reach out to all colleges, majors, and various student organizations to get more diverse undergraduate students involved in the events. To date, UC Davis coordinators have collected a pool of over 175 students. Various engineering, diversity, and community service student organizations, as well as members of the UC Davis faculty, are part of the volunteer pool and help expand community involvement. Each classroom event is supported by a group of 5 to 7 student volunteers responsible for arranging materials, setting up the lesson, and helping create the most adequate learning environment for the students. Each group is escorted by a designated volunteer lead who acts as a liaison between the teacher and volunteers, controls emergency situations, and manages student-volunteer behavior as needed. Volunteers are trained through the online training modules in classroom etiquette, event rules and organization, and activity implementation to efficiently support teachers in conducting the activities. Developers create training videos to walk teachers and volunteers through required materials for the activity, how to create the project with instructions for guiding the students, and how to promote creativity so that students can expand upon their projects. The modules teach undergraduate students to efficiently communicate with younger students, create a comfortable learning environment, and practice discipline and safety in the classroom. Data collection and evaluation. The feedback collection processes follow 3 main criteria: quality of preparation, execution of the lesson, and suggestions for future implementations. These areas of focus help identify strengths and weaknesses in the program's execution and determine improvements to make for future lessons. Provisionally, we are evaluating student progress through the volunteer and teacher feedback. Through the volunteer training feedback, we found that the previous training system did not adequately prepare volunteers for the project building aspect of the lesson, with the lowest average rating of 57%. Based on interviews with 88 volunteers over the first 3 months of the program, the majority proposed building a more extensive training system. We responded by implementing the new video-based modules described in the online training modules section above. Volunteers reacted positively, saying that they understood lessons well and felt comfortable mentoring students in new projects. We are currently still collecting feedback on the new system. Teacher feedback is crucial for maintaining high-quality lessons and ensuring student engagement. Anonymous online forms allow teachers to express their honest opinions about events and detail constructive advice on how to improve lessons for future events. The program received a rating of 72%, indicating that the volunteer training was lacking in some areas, but that volunteers were still valuable assets to the lessons. The likelihood of teachers to integrate the lessons into their regular curriculum was rated at 78%, indicating that the program was well received by the teachers but could still benefit from some modifications. Overall, the teachers rated student reception at the highest out of all of the categories at 95%, guaranteeing that the students were engaged in this new learning environment. Promoting diversity amongst all of our volunteers helps strengthen BIT Project's ability to identify and mitigate shortcomings in vastly different education systems. According to the Assessment of Diversity in America's Teaching Force, academic performance increases when students were taught by ethnically diverse and culturally competent teachers. When young minority students are mentored by a diverse group of experts, they feel empowered to achieve higher levels of success and become the next generation of leaders. Since diversity cultivates innovation in solving real-world problems, BIT Project's outreach program invites developers and volunteers from various socioeconomic backgrounds to create STEM-based education practices in which students can celebrate their unique qualities and experiences. This fall, we will be opening chapters at universities around the U.S. to further diversify our undergraduate and K-5 level student involvement. As an outreach program focused on bringing communities together, it is important that we are able to provide resources to other university students developing similar programs. We offer training and organizational support to allow undergraduates to implement such outreach within their own communities. Organizers will be guided through the process of developing educational content, partnering with schools, and acquiring industry sponsorships to help sustain the program. Additionally, we will provide all paperwork, including waiver and consent form templates, required to help start the program. We hope that through our expansion, we can diversify our community of content developers and extend our resources to as many underprivileged schools as possible. The expansion of our outreach program guarantees a unique learning experience that will strengthen students' foundation in core STEM subjects. Organized by UC Davis College of Engineering students, the BIT Project Outreach Program grants teachers access to resources for easy integration of project-based learning into their classes. An analysis of the first implementation of the outreach program received positive feedback and promise for long-term continuation at the school. Feedback from volunteers and teachers on training methods and lessons allows the program to better serve users and encourages student developers and volunteers to continuously improve upon it. With administrative support from teachers and parents, financial support from corporations and the UC Davis College of Engineering, and the voluntary efforts of university students and company employees, the program continues to serve student organizations to expand the outreach to more communities. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to the presentation, and please feel free to reach out to me for more information about the program.